Hi, I'm Dr. John Izzo. Today I read an article with a disturbing and provocative title. The title was, "We may be the last generation in human history with the capacity to save nature." In that article, I found out some things I already knew. I already knew that extinction rates during my lifetime are 1,000 times the normal rate in Earth history. In other words, species are going extinct at about 1,000 times the normal rate if you look at the history of the Earth compared with my single lifetime. The second thing it said that is really disturbing and daunting is that in the case of the numbers of populations going down among animals and mammals and various species across the earth, on average in my lifetime, about a 60 to 90% decline in the numbers for each of these species. Some daunting examples were that 90% of shallow water coral reefs have died in my one lifetime. Think about that for a moment. 9 out of every 10 of these shallow coral reefs have died just in this one small lifetime. I think of an experience I had a number of years ago in the impenetrable forest on the border of Rwanda and Uganda in East Africa, where I went trekking with some biologists to encounter some of the last remaining mountain gorillas. When I was born in 1956, there were over 1 million mountain gorillas in this one forest in East Africa. Today, only 730. 1 million 60 years ago when I was born, only 730 today. Now, the reasons for species going extinct are varied, but among the prime contributors are climate change, habitat loss, poaching, and toxins in the environment, such as plastics in the ocean, which is contributing to over 1 million marine mammals dying every year. And as depressing and daunting as these statistics are, I think one of the facts that really strikes me to the core is something a friend of mine said the other day. He said many of these species that are going extinct, again in this one short human lifetime, that it took many of these species 1 to 2 million years to evolve. Now think about that for just a moment. Species going extinct in one human lifetime, that took 1 to 2 million years to evolve. So think of how long it might take the Earth to repair itself. But the good news is, it's not too late. The good news is we have the chance to be the generation that turned it around. And it can happen in very simple things. First of all, each one of us can take actions that reduces our environmental footprint in terms of climate change and habitat. For example, just in the last few years myself, I've switched to a hybrid car. I've gone to a 90% vegetarian diet because switching to even a 50% vegetarian diet will have a bigger impact on your climate footprint than buying an electric car. So imagine now if you simply did both. The other thing that all of us can do is stop using so much single-use plastic. Something, again, I've done in the last few years myself, taking a pledge to stop using plastic straws, plastic water bottles, and plastic shopping bags, and to join the effort to clean up beaches all over the world. The fourth thing we can do is to support organizations who are taking this fight on. Organizations like the World Wildlife Fund, who are leading all over the world in helping governments and businesses and individuals tackle this issue. Another thing we can do is to buy from and support companies that are taking action on habitat and climate change. It's not hard to find out online who these companies are. Support them. Support them with your purchases. Support them on social media. Support them by being an ambassador for them. And write them a letter encouraging them, saying you really appreciate what they're doing. And finally, it's time to hold our politicians accountable to do something about species extinction and habitat loss. With now only 1/10 of the Earth still in its natural state, we have a chance to protect the last frontiers while at the same time reclaiming habitat. This article said it's time for a worldwide accord, like the Paris Accord on climate, to save habitat and species. Isn't it time that we as a species join together in a concerted way to have some goals around turning this around. So, on the one hand, deeply disturbing. On the other hand, what a great opportunity. You and I have the chance, the opportunity to be the generation that turned it around. I think we can do it, and I hope you'll join me. I'd love to hear from you in the comments section here, what you're doing, what your ideas are, companies you think we ought to support who are taking action. And thanks for listening. And remember, we have a chance in our one lifetime still to turn this around. Thank you.